let love, I let go, I release, and I know I forgive, I receive, I can feel, I believe, I am healed, I am whole, I release, I know. No need to push, no need to try, no need to worry or question why. Surrender, let go, release, and know. I breathe in, I breathe in, I breathe out, I breathe out, I take in, I take in, I give out, I give out, I let love, I let go, I release, I know. Breathe,
Brahma Kumaris, where a new world is opened up for you. From humble beginnings in India in 1936 to a global organization with over 8,000 centers in 110 countries and 1 million students worldwide. Through their tireless commitment, passionate heart, and determined spirit, the Brahma Kumaris arrived in America in 1974 and have since grown to 35 main centers throughout America. There are also 2 residential retreat centers, Peace Village, located in upstate New York, and Anubhuti, located in Novato, California.
I want to just share a little bit about how the centers of Raj Yoga meditation began in United States. Actually, I was in Caribbean islands and I got invitation from New York that we want to start something about meditation. And it was in 1978 I came here and we rented a very small apartment in Astoria. And from there I found that a lot of people have interest. I realized that there is so much need, and from there onwards then centers started in many other states.
Our centers are safe spaces where you can explore the power of your inner world.
The classes are conducted in many, many homes, many cities all over across the United States. A lot of people, they learn meditation, they use it, that meditation at their workplace, in their family, and also I find that children, young adults, because they are so much into like what really is the life about.
The Brahma Kumaris are dedicated to personal and global transformation through the study and spiritual practice of Raj Yoga meditation. And at the heart of our teaching is the belief that the pathway to peace and happiness is to remember our original nature as spiritual beings connected to the One Source. In 1981, the organization received recognition as an international non-governmental organization affiliated with the United Nations and accredited with general consultative status with the Economic and Social Council. From organizing large-scale global initiatives to local community programs, the Brahma Kumaris has a tradition of service in every field that fosters spiritual growth among individuals from all backgrounds, cultures, and walks of life.
I hold on to this vision, the world of love, world of peace and harmony, world which is free from conflict and sorrow, where we can live as brothers, one family, children of common parents, one supreme divine power.
This is your invitation to awaken and join us in creating a world of love, peace, and kindness. Om Shanti. Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to your next normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. So nice to be with you as we navigate ourselves through these changes. Wonderful changes. Some changes feel like at times they're not the best, but at the end of the day, when we turn back and we really reflect on what our lives have meant to us, then we say, it has been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And one of the big things that's been happening during this particular period is food has become a big item. A lot of us are eating a lot. I have to tell you though, I've been doing pretty well with my food diet. Many people who know me very well, they know they can't win me over with food, but they can win me over with cakes and cookies. But I've been so good, everyone. I really haven't been indulging, except if Lakshmi comes by and she gives me one of her amazing cakes, then of course I'm going to indulge. But I'm still quite mindful as to how much sweets I'm putting in my system. I think I've been learning in the last few months the importance of not only the well-being of our chariot, our bodies, which the soul sits in, and the soul expresses who it is through this body, that it's so important for the soul to have the respect for this chariot, for this body that it's using at this particular period in time. And the more we can recognize the fact that the soul has the authority to decide how it wants to take care of this chariot, feed this chariot, honor this chariot, always will consist of the quality of thoughts, the quality of feelings. You know, I'm like a broken record when I tell you over and over again, be careful of what you think, be careful of what you think, be careful of what you think, but also be careful of what you choose to feel as a result of the events and circumstances that take place in your life. So today we're talking about food, consciousness in our food, conscious cooking. When the meditation museums were open, we used to hold Cooking for Peace once a month, and it was always our most attended programs on Saturdays at the Meditation Museum. We actually would prepare the food, we would distribute the food, folks would have a tasting experience. I used to tell them it's more than a taste. They would literally get a whole meal, and all of it was free of charge, compliments of the Meditation Museum. I just remembered how beautiful those days were with Cooking for Peace. And I don't know if you all remembered, if you've been following us for the past few months, on the americameditating.org website is Sister Geeta's cookbook, Cooking for Peace. And in her cookbook is her world-renowned Jamaican jerk tofu. So I've got some amazing news for you all. So last week, Antonia, who many of you have heard, Santosh, they all came over and she brought the recipe, the ingredients for Sister Geeta's Jamaican jerk tofu. Now we have paneer, and she's vegan and I'm almost vegan because I'm lactose intolerant, but I can do cheese pizza. Thank God for that. And I can do paneer, which is a really wonderful Indian dish, right? So they decided they were going to do Jamaican jerk paneer and Jamaican jerk tofu. So when they put all the ingredients together, I was working that day in the other room, and I could hear all the little angels and elves in the kitchen doing their thing. Everyone, when that Jamaican paneer and jerk tofu was done, there wasn't a grain left in that bowl. There was not one grain. We enjoyed it so much. One, we enjoyed the energy of love that was in the room. There was one person who was trying to put together the ingredients. There was another one cutting up the vegetables. There was another one that took it in the oven. They used both kitchens, the one downstairs and the one upstairs. There was another one who started to mess up with it. Then the other one came in and go, no, that's not the way it's done. But by the time it was done, we all sat. I don't know how many of us were there, maybe 7 or 8. And Sister Geeta sat and enjoyed her world-renowned Jamaican jerk tofu that got an optimized new identity with Jamaican jerk paneer. And you know, I've always told Sister Geeta, wear your teeth, take care of your teeth, make sure your teeth are in your mouth. It did not matter. She was going after her Jamaican jerk paneer. And she ate that food like I cannot begin to tell you, but it was so good. And we enjoyed it so much. One of the things, that we have learned in our eating habits here is to eat in Baba's remembrance. I don't think one of us around that table was remembering Baba. We were remembering that jerk tofu and the jerk paneer. But one of the things that you could feel was the love that everyone had put in the food, one. You could feel the cleanliness of the dish, 2. And 3, there were moments that we really paused and just told Baba, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So if you haven't explored the new recipe by Sister Geeta, please go to americameditating.org and go to Cooking for Peace. It's somewhere on one of the pages down there where I think is the More button. And you'll get a chance to visit her wonderful book of many, many amazing recipes. She even made, Sister Geeta has cooked for the Bee Gees, the Jamaican bobsled team, mayors, actors, folks that are amazing all around the world, and everyone has left. That was so good. Could I have some more of that? And she just walks away like she did nothing, Now she's not really cooking at all. She has intentionally gone on vacation. So I guess we're just trying to do our best to catch up to the beauty of her cooking, the vibrations of her cooking. Each person who cooks a meal carries the weight of their vibration or the lightness of their vibrations. And I wanted us to talk about that today. And I'm even going to show you a recipe or two from our Yum Yum Yogi YouTube page that's done by the BKs in Tampa, Florida. So why conscious cooking is important, and also why being able to develop the habit and the routine to have a kitchen that is sacred and wholesome for cooking, is that food is the source of your strength. And food cooked in a sacred state also carries the vibration of sacredness into your system as well. So let me go through step by step that I think will be very simple, and feel free to grab a pen and paper or text it on your phone, whatever will makes it easier for you. One of the most important aspects about conscious cooking and cooking for peace and cooking to enlighten you and your family is to be able to recognize that when you cook food in the consciousness of God's remembrance, it becomes holy food. A lot of times we might cook the food, and before we eat the food, we pray over the food. So sometimes people might say, isn't that not holy? Of course it's holy. However, in addition to doing that, imagine what the vibration of the food will feel like when the person in the kitchen is inward, is inside of themselves in a pure and peaceful place, and is in remembrance of Baba, of God, Allah, Jehovah, whatever is the name that is comfortable for you in your cultural genre. It is the same God. It's just my language says I call God Allah, or I call him Shiva, or Krishna, or Prabhu, or Lord or Master, but it's the same supreme energy. So just for a moment, think about what it's like that it's the morning, you've gotten up, you've checked your first thought in the morning to see what it's actually saying to you. You go to the bathroom, you take a shower, you freshen up or something of that nature, and then you get ready to make breakfast for the kids or for your husband or for the family, or maybe for yourself. And we always recommend that you should be freshly showered before you make your meals, because the vibrations from your sleeping energy, that tends to, whatever are in your subconscious as you're recording, in your sanskaras, those vibrations come up in a dream state. And so those vibrations are swirling around you and your physical energy, and it's also seeping into the vibrations of your bed. So even though you might get up and wash your face and brush your teeth, the vibrations are still hovering over you as to whatever your dream experience was. So one of the things that we do fundamentally is that we will always be bathed before we make breakfast in the morning for anyone, because we feel that we are cooking really for God first, and then his children get served second. And it's a habit. We will never cook unless we've taken a shower in the mornings. Isn't that amazing? It will be impossible to actually see one of us in the kitchen in the pajamas cooking a meal for breakfast, or cooking with our heads all disheveled or looking like we just rolled out of the bed. You want some coffee? You want some scrambled tofu? No. Of course, when I make my coffee or tea after morning meditation, I am not showered yet. But when I begin to, I would have showered by then before I go to my morning class and to do my morning routines. So that's one step. And I told you why. You wash away the vibrations of whatever was your dream state that you had at night, or whatever vibrations that were created in the bed that morning or that night. All of those vibrations have been washed away, and you're now a sacred, clean vessel. Nice? All right. So as you're going into the kitchen, the intention is that the kitchen sink should be clean. If you've got kids, I highly recommend that you begin to train them to practice washing dishes peacefully, as if you could hear a pin drop, just to ask them for your help and your support, and also to inform your children and your teenagers that this is a good action that you're performing. You're helping mom, you're helping dad, who are working very hard in the day, and also it becomes a family thing that we just do these things together. So it's important that you never go to bed with the kitchen sink filthy, nor do you go to bed with your kitchen filthy. It attracts bugs, it attracts roaches, mice, and all of these things. Mark you, like in the Virginia area, it's like saturated with rodents, I was told. But you still want to at least make the effort to make sure you keep the area as sattvic, means as clean as you possibly can. So when you walk into the kitchen first thing in the morning, you're so pleased to see a clean kitchen welcoming you with open arms. And all of those steps that you're taking already is building on the sacred energy of how the food that you are going to prepare in that kitchen will be touched by God's blessings and God's vibrations and just God's energy. So, you're in the kitchen. Sometimes it depends on how you're feeling. Put on something inspirational. Put on some lovely music. Never listen to the news when you're cooking. Never watch a television program when you're cooking. The vibrations of that will go into the elements of the food. And when your family members or your friends eat that, they will pick up the vibrations of that food. And you don't want that, do you? So if you want to listen to something inspirational so that while you're making your scrambled tofu or toast or, putting butter on the bread, vegan butter as Antonia would say, or jelly or jam or peanut butter, whatever it is, you're thinking about the elevated ideas and thoughts that are coming up as a result of listening to this program or that program. Put on the next normal, play a rerun of what you heard the night before in the morning and go, what did sister say? What did she really say? Well, that really touched me. And then as you're in the kitchen and you're preparing, you are evolving your consciousness. And as you are evolving your consciousness, the vibrations in the kitchen is illuminating more and more, and the light is expanding. So when the family starts to walk into the kitchen, they walk into the kitchen and enter into the vibrations that you are creating. And that starts to nurture their souls. And then when they get the food nurtures their body and their minds. And it's really important. Imagine if you do that Monday through Sunday for a whole month, for 6 months, for a year, for 5 years, for 10 years. Imagine the accumulation of subtle spiritual powers that you would be attaining in the deepest parts of your memory, in your sanskaras, in your subconscious. It's like it's a blessing. It's as if you're carrying a kind of a Shaktipa, a kind of a spiritual power in you, which is coming by lieu of something that you do every day. Cook and eat. Every day you cook and you eat. Every day you have to eat. And if you're not eating, then you're doing juicing, something of that nature, right? So imagine just practicing that, and I can guarantee it, just once you do that, you'll feel the difference in the kitchen just for your own self. The other thing that we generally do when we cook a meal, and it depends, at least once a day, whatever we have cooked, we have a special plate, which I wish I could show you actually. Maybe I'll do it in the next segment when I come back. But we have a special tray that has little bowls in it. And whatever we have cooked that morning or in that afternoon, then we will take that food and put it in these little bowls. We will cover it. We'll go into Baba's room and say, Baba, this is what I made. I hope you enjoy it. And then we'll sit in meditation for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, depending on the experience. And then we'll bring the food out of the meditation corner or room, open up the bowls, and then pour the food back in whatever that we have cooked. Why do we do that? Is it ritualistic? Is it devotional? Is it like, insanity to some extent? It isn't. There are such subtle mysteries that exist that we're still decoding even till today. And I can only speak from my personal experience, that particular practice. Sister Gita has been the best on that. She will not cook and not offer. I'll cook, but I'll give it to Sister Gita to offer. because I know that those vibrations will definitely enter the food. And what that does, it's that it creates within us less of a habit of being very driven by our senses. Like you're cooking and then you can't wait to eat the food, and the minute you get the food, then you want to put it in your mouth, and there's just no reverence for the food. I don't know if you've ever seen the ritual of the Japanese having a Japanese tea. And it's a whole process. It's one of the most sacred, honoring, beautiful experience of just valuing a cup of tea in the Japanese culture. So similarly, food cooked in an elevated consciousness, food cooked in God's remembrance, food cooked in peace and in silence is a very holy and sacred experience. And so what it adds to our consciousness and our spirituality, it adds a subtle kind of a power into your mental capacity. And that mental capacity will come to your aid at a time of need. Sometimes you don't know when a circumstance or a situation or a karmic settling from the past will emerge into our lives, and it's like you really need the mental tenacity to be able to respond to the situation. Well, if you've been serving your physical temple and your mental temple with the right kind of an attitude with the food that you put into your system at least 3 times a day, over a long period of time, that subtle energy adds up and comes to your rescue when you need it. I know that I'm offering some really interesting insights, and why don't we now at least go to some really nice recipes that are from the Yum Yum Yogi. And if by chance you have any questions that you'd like to ask me regarding this conversation, please feel free to put it in the comments list, and I'll be happy to do my best to respond. This is one of my favorite topics, so really feel free to talk about it as much as you want, or whatever questions you might want to ask from me. But now get your pen and paper, because this recipe is really yum yum.
Today for the Yum Yum Yogi, I will be making melt-in-your-mouth plantain patties. But before we start cooking, I would like to invite our viewers to hold this pure thought for the self, because we are what we think while making the food we eat. I sparkle with the inner wisdom of recognizing the value of every soul and the beauty of every moment. For this recipe, we need 2 green plantains, and we chop off the head and the tail and slice them into 2-inch thick pieces. Slit the skin and take the plantain out as shown. We should have about 8 small pieces of plantain. Boil some water in a pot, add 1 teaspoon salt, dump the plantains, cover and cook for about 15 minutes. And now let's prep. 1 cup cabbage, coarsely chopped, 6 green chilies, these are completely optional of course, 1/4 cup mint, and we don't need to chop any of these things, and about 1/2 cup or 1 bunch cilantro. And let's go check our plantains. If you insert a fork, it should go in smoothly, and that you know it's done. And so we transfer these cooked plantains into a small bowl. We heat up a pan on medium heat to roast the chickpea flour. Add 1/3 cup chickpea flour and 2 teaspoons of coriander powder. And roast the chickpea flour. You know it's roasted when it starts smelling wonderful, and also the spoon moves around in the flour easily. Transfer the roasted chickpea flour to a small bowl and heat the same pan on medium high now, and add 2 teaspoons oil and Saute the cabbage till it's translucent. For written recipes, you can visit our website, theyumyumyogi.net. Now transfer the cabbage to a food processor, the cooked cabbage, the roasted chickpea flours, the plantains cooked, 1 tablespoon ginger, and also you might want to add salt at this point, 6 green chilies, the mint, and the cilantro. And pulse. This batter needed some water. We usually don't need water depending on the ripeness of the plantain, so we add 2 tablespoons water, and the batter should be completely pulsed and sticky. Now heat up the same pan on medium-high, grease your palm, and make the patties. We should have about 12 to 13 patties for 2 plantains, and cook the patties for about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. They look gorgeous, and they are very healthy because plantains are really high in potassium and B vitamins, so they're really healthy for you. And so turn over, cook the other side for 4 or 5 minutes. And here we have melt in your mouth plantain patties. But before we eat, I would like us to take this pure thought for the self, for others, for the planet. I sparkle with the inner wisdom of recognizing the value of every soul and the beauty of every moment.
Okay, everybody must be getting hungry. Wasn't that a great recipe? Famous, nice plantain, sort of a, what they call it, what do you call it when you fry it? What do you call it? Patties, yeah, plantain patties. Okay, so I hope you all have been keeping up with me on the consciousness in the kitchen, and even look at the thoughts that you could walk into the kitchen with and percolate over, because imagine one of the things that we do unconsciously is that a lot of times when we're in the kitchen, we are kind of relaxed, right? Because we do this all the time. And as a result of being kind of relaxed, then a lot of our thoughts of our past is coming up in the kitchen and while you're cooking, but also desires of the future or activities that you've done the night before, the day before, the week before. You start to percolate them, and those vibrations also begin to spread again around you and in the kitchen. So what if you were to actually begin to practice on, let me focus on the world behind my eyes and see if I can connect now to Baba's love and feel as if I'm cooking this for the sacred, I'm cooking this for the unlimited, for the supreme. And so the cleanliness, the love, the care, the gentleness, the purity, all of that goes into the food. And you know who benefits when you cook like that? Your kids, your spouses, your in-laws, and you. Everybody benefits when that vibration is there. And it's a huge addition, huge plus. All right, let's go to the comments and see what anyone is saying. If you have any thoughts, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you're enjoying our session today. And I need to do a pause and let Asmita know that we got the bracelet. Yay, so I'm wearing it, Asmita. Thank you so much. That was so thoughtful and sweet of you. How kind. I'm very touched by your sincerity and beauty, and it's those small things that make such a world of difference, and it's deeply received with a lot of reverence. So thank you so very much. That was very, very sweet. All right. So Jennifer, you have to try that recipe. Absolutely. So Nikki Dicky, you've been really enjoying Sister Gita's recipes? They've been amazing, haven't they? You have to try her, I think it's a Jamaican porridge or something that she makes. And the ackee, you have to try ackee. Oh my gosh. Ackee, which you can get at, I think the Korean stores have the cans, or the Jamaican stores for sure have the cans. Those are incredible. When she makes that ackee, it usually in Jamaica, it's ackee and saltfish, but she transforms it into ackee, cabbage, thyme. She puts a little bit of bacon bits, which are soya bacon bits, not real bacon bits. And let me tell you, you just want to keep eating until you bite off your finger. I'm telling you. Anyway, so back to I'm getting hungry. And I had surgery yesterday. I was removing something in my mouth, in my tooth. And I could not eat the whole day yesterday. And Santosh made me the best green juice. And today, for the first time, I ate mashed potatoes. And can I tell you something, everyone? Those mashed potatoes were like a 5, 7, 8, 10, 12 course meal. And I was like, oh, that tastes so good. And after about 5 or 7 minutes into the whole experience of the potatoes, I found my intellect going to what it must be like to go to bed without food, and to awaken and not have any food. And I thought about those kids that are really struggling, and then I slowed down my eating of the potatoes, and then I asked for seconds because I was just like, I really had to eat. But it's so interesting that when you can eat mindfully and keep checking in, why I'm telling you this, it is so vital to keep checking in. And when you eat in a mindful way, it helps you to think about sometimes other people, and recognizing how there's so many people in the world that don't have food to eat. And how can I support? How can I help? You know, and I think it's in the way we show reverence to the food, and the way that we show reverence in our own lives, that will make a huge difference, a huge difference. All right. Okay. So I'm not sure if anyone else has any questions. Are you with me with the routine of the conscious cooking in the kitchen, and the energy of food and the consciousness of cooking? Vegetables, raws, they have a natural energy of life in them. And I would like to recommend some of you who might still be indulging in seafood or meat, that when you walk into the supermarket next time, just be very mindful and take some time to observe the energy around the fruits and vegetables, you know, around the produce and vegetables, and feel the vibe there. And then when you walk to where the meat is being sold, feel the vibrations there. And if you're able to identify the energy of the difference of those two spaces, then it might give you some insight on how the energy of the consciousness of food is entering into your psychic field, your emotional field, your spiritual field, your mental field. One of the reasons why sometimes it's not always easy to be very peaceful is if we're eating food that was killed in an energy that wasn't peaceful, let's say, for example, the animal, then the vibration of the fear in which the animal died in is also frozen or held in the blood system of the meat, of the animal's body that's been cut up. So even though it's gone through a process and it's been washed and whatever they do with it or preserve it, that energy of that vibration still enters my field, still enters my consciousness. And that's why sometimes I've observed individuals that do meat a lot, I found that their temperament tends to be a lot less than those who are vegetarian. Now, I'm not knocking anyone, it's entirely up to you, and all of this, everyone, is habitual. That once, like when I decided that I wanted to get off of sugar and less starch and all of these things, I could do it, and I did do it. But you recall that I said After a month and a half, I just had to smell coffee. So I percolated a cup of coffee just to smell it because the habit is recorded in me. And because the habit is so strong inside, it's natural that it comes up ever so often to remind me, don't you remember you used to drink me a lot? Don't you remember you really love me? Coffee, you love me, you know? And so the memory would come back. So why it's important to sometimes deepen the experience of really appreciating and enjoying sattvic food is that eventually there'll come a point in your life that it automatically says, I just want to have sattvic food. I just want to eat food that is sacred, that is made in Baba's remembrance, that is eaten in Baba's remembrance, and has that honor and that love in it, knowing that this is another way that I express how much I love and take care of my family. Okay? All right, are you ready for another recipe? Ready for another yum yum recipe? Let's go for it. This one, I'm pretty sure you're gonna like too.
Welcome to the Yum Yum Yogi. Today we will be making Thai green curry. Because of the Yum Yum Yogi, we are all about having the right consciousness while cooking. Let's reflect on this thought while making this green curry. I am loving because I nurture the longing for truth that lives in the heart of every soul. For this recipe, we need what seem like a lot of ingredients. But they're not that bad. Once you gather them all together, we need half a cup fresh coriander stems and leaves, 4 to 6 kaffir lime leaves. You get these in the Oriental store. 10 Thai green chilies or to taste. You can even use 1 if you want. 1 tablespoon galangal powder. And 2 tablespoons lemongrass powder. 1 teaspoon ginger paste. 1 teaspoon ground coriander. Half a teaspoon salt. Half a teaspoon ground cumin. 1/3 cup coconut milk. 1 teaspoon palm sugar. Now let's gather these ingredients into a blender jar. There goes the salt, the ginger paste, the cumin powder, the coriander powder, cilantro leaves and stems, kaffir lime leaves, the chilies, the galangal powder, and the lemongrass powder. Now add the coconut milk. We need about half a cup of fresh basil leaves for the curry paste, but the basil leaves have to be blanched. Just blanch them in boiling water for about 20 seconds, not too long, just 20 seconds. And add these leaves to the blender jar and pulse till a fine paste is formed. There, nice and green looking curry paste. For this recipe, I'm going to use carrots and other vegetables. You can use whatever vegetables you want. I'm using carrots, 1.5 cups of green beans, 1 red bell pepper, and 8 Asian eggplants. These Asian eggplants are usually used in green curry. So I'm taking 8 of these and store them in salt water till you're ready to use them in the curry. I'm also going to add 6 ounces of extra firm tofu for protein. 1 14-ounce can coconut milk. Do not shake the milk, and it has to be a full fat coconut milk because we need the cream on top. We don't use oil. You take a heavy bottom saucepan, put it on medium-high heat, and take about 2 tablespoons of cream of coconut milk and 1/4 of a cup Thai green curry paste, and saute the paste in the coconut milk for about a minute. Now we start adding the vegetables. First the green beans go in. The red bell pepper, the carrots and the tofu. Take the Asian eggplants out of the water, the salt water, and add them in. And saute for about a minute all of these vegetables on high flame. Add rest of the can of coconut milk, 2 cups of water, cover, reduce the flame, and let simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes till the vegetables are just about done. Don't let them get overcooked. Add 1 teaspoon miso paste and 2 teaspoons mirin. Blend very well and add to the cooking curry. At this point, you can add about 1 tablespoon palm sugar. Switch off the heat. So now if the vegetables are done, switch off the heat. Add salt to taste and juice of 1 lime. Serve with rice. I'm using black rice here. Doesn't it look delicious? This is such a delicious Thai green curry. But before we eat it, let's reflect on this thought. I am loving because I nurture the longing for truth that lives in the heart of every soul.
Yum, yum. You have no idea how much I'm getting hungry. And I can't eat those hard foods yet until another day or two. Yum, yum, yogi. Anyway, thank you all for really taking this time to really go into this whole idea of consciousness in cooking. We have found a tremendous amount of benefits in being able to really make my temple, my physical temple, my mental temple, my spiritual temple pure, to put that vibration in food that my consciousness is saying, Baba, I'm cooking this for you, and my family and my friends are all going to benefit as well. And again, if you see the same thing over and over again, you eventually start to pick it up. If you hear the same thing over and over again, those vibrations pick you up. If you're in the same environment over and over again, you become your environment. So imagine if you created the environment of sacredness in the kitchen, purity in the kitchen, vibrations of love in the kitchen, how that can really make a very big, big impression, not only for you, but also for the family. So, some people might ask, someone asks on Facebook, do you taste the food before you cook it? I don't. I make Baba taste the food first. But I am a little bit wired differently in terms of I just have the confidence that whatever I'm doing, Baba will accept it, because I am really doing it for Baba with a lot of love. And so I'm not questioning if I need to taste it before I actually offer it to Baba first. So I don't taste the food before I cook it. I just know what to cook and how it's going to taste. There are times in which, I guess when the food is on the table, and then we might realize, oh, I forgot to put sugar. So then that's too late. And actually, I don't think I've ever done that. So I'm so sorry. I might have once, somebody put salt in the sugar bowl. And Lakshmi was cooking when she was here the last time, and unfortunately, instead of sugar, it was salt in the halwa. So that was a hell of a halwa, just to let everybody know. And so we had to shift that around. So I do recommend that. If the tasting is, I don't know, a confirmation for you, or if it's just a habit, you have to check that out for yourself. Then I would discontinue tasting the food before I give it to Baba. That's one thing. And again, the second thing is in the offering of in the offering of food to Baba, at least one meal a day, have a special tray that nobody else uses in the house, special bowls that nobody else will use in the house, a special little spoon, a little cup for water, as if you're really feeding a child. And again, what does that do if I do that on a regular basis? It helps me just, again, to reinforce reverence and how important and sacred food is. On so many occasions, we take food for granted, we waste it, we eat it without reverence. You know, we talk and eat at the same time, and all of that goes on. But when you really begin to think about the fact that there is a child somewhere across the world, and I know it's karma, but despite that, there's a child somewhere who doesn't have food to eat. And I think every time we offer food to Baba, it's with the intention that, of course, whoever is going to eat it will be served mentally, spiritually, and physically, but that we hope somebody who's going to bed tonight will have something to eat and won't go to bed hungry. So again, the creating of this pure karma of stepping out of only your I, me, and mine world is huge, It's really important. So that's about consciousness and the energy of food, and I hope it was insightful, and I hope it gave you some tools to think about. And I'm not quite sure if there are any questions here that you might have for me in addition. But I'm glad that everyone is appreciating it. And yes, Asmita, thank you again. And Varsha, welcome to the next normal. Varsha, everyone, is Gita's, not my Gita, another Gita's mother. And she just had heart surgery about a week ago. And she's on air today, so let us send her all of our blessings and good wishes that she's taken the time to come on today and give those vibrations and lots of love and healing vibrations. So sending her heart and mind to really become so strong and so powerful, because she is strong, she is powerful, and she is healthy. Great. All right, let's have a little meditation together. Here's what if. What if we really just break away from our old patterns and stepped into the real ones? Enjoy. Om Shanti. As I sit here in quiet reflection, I'm reminded how my thoughts create my reality. I've accepted that I am what I am because of what I think. So what if for this moment I choose to let go of my various attachments to physical forms that have limited my potential and my capacity? What if I chose to be free from limitations of thinking? So just for a little while, I invite you to take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. And imagine for a moment, what if I no longer had an attachment to my name? How would that feel? What if I let go of the awareness of the gender? What if I let go of the roles that I play, the titles that I own? What if I decided to release thinking of myself as a religion, a language, a nationality? What if I choose to just let go of the name, gender, role, title, religion, language, nationality, and let go of the awareness of the body? How would I feel? Who would think of me in this awareness? And who would I think of? I would think of God. And God's remembrance would fall on me. And I, the living soul, would be completely free. Let me just sit in this moment for a little longer. And just be free. Now gently bring back the awareness of your gender, language, nationality, title, role, name, religion, whatever. Bring it back to your awareness and see if you can bring the experience of freedom and peace as you go out into the world and play your various parts. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Welcome back. I really enjoyed making that meditation in India. It's one of my favorites. Hope you liked it too. Well, we're coming to a close of our wonderful cooking in consciousness tonight, and I hope it was very beneficial and useful for you. It is always my pure intention that each next normal offers you insights into just really raising your vibrations and bringing you closer to home. Home, home, here and up there, where your presence does the service. The presence that comes from the vibrations of the thoughts that you've been churning for a long time. And we're not speaking to you as, perfected authorities of this path. We are speaking to you as children of God on our journey of repairing things that have been slightly sort of mishandled over time. You know, preparing our consciousness to remembering how beautiful and worthy it actually is. And we just share with you what it must be like to really have just healthy relationships, normal relationships. How to be able to accept that all those situations that occur in our lives today are remnants of some past deeds performed, whether it was deeds performed in God's remembrance or in soul consciousness, they're definitely going to be abundant. Or if they were deeds performed in algae, anger, lust, greed, attachment, or ego, they will create some obstacles somewhere along the way. So hopefully today you recognize the importance of food and what it's like to keep your kitchen sattvic and your body and your mind in a good place so that Baba's love and Baba's presence can enter your space and offer you ultimate amount of blessings and good feelings. And then we just wish for you to be okay, really. I know on behalf of all of us here, we just want you to be all right. And we want you to be okay because it's our right. It's our birthright to be okay. It's how we're supposed to be in the world. We're supposed to be, by now, okay. And they're just events and things that we bump into that are just holding the consciousness so much that we've reduced our standards of how we wish to live, how we wish to think, how we wish to speak, how we wish to dress, how we wish to take care of our bodies, our minds. And we've gotten so acclimated to sometimes just mediocrity in the way we take care of our own lives. And then we might find ourselves in a sort of a behavioral pattern of expecting somebody else outside of me to treat me 100 times better than I treat myself. It's a funny world, isn't it? So let's raise our consciousness. And let's start with food. And the way that I look at food as an energy to help me to recognize that I have reverence for myself. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. All the very best. Lots of pure feelings and good wishes. Lots of love. Lots of Om Shanti. Have a wonderful evening tonight. Rest well. Take care on behalf of all of us.
We find our nation on a precipice, true tipping point. Is this the moment that will finally change our country?
Tryna rain on the thunder. Tell the storm I'm new. I'ma rain on this bitter love. Tell the tweet I'm new.
It's not a broken system. It was built to function exactly as it is.
We must respond with bold action.
This is our country too. We can build new systems that do what they should.
I'm a walk, I'm a march on the regular.
We are united. We are standing.
Follow away.
And we are going to fight this fight.
Freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. I break chains up on myself.
There is something happening across this country.
When we work and when we fight and when we march and when we speak up and when we offer solutions, we win.
I'ma keep running cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
It's always the right time to celebrate women and black women in particular.
It is an opportunity to show the nation and the world that we will act. It has been an inspiration.
You have the choice, and it is that choice that gives you power.
Vote. Vote like your life depends on it because it does.
That is what we need next. Action.
Hi everyone, it's Sister Jenna from America Meditating Radio. I hope you've been enjoying Wise-ish, which you can get live on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube from 8:30 a.m. to 8:45. But you can also get it on demand 24/7. It's going to be your power boost for the morning. It's your daily dose for the soul. It's just going to encourage you to make the day that much more valuable. So join us. Looking forward to seeing you. Hi everyone, I'm Sister Jenna. Welcome to our special Zoom meditation segments. Look, it's no joke. Things are kind of weird. It's just weird. Pandemics, protests, job insecurity, global pause. Everyone's numb, but also everyone's searching. And they might be searching on this little gadget of Zoom in a little box. People from all over the world who don't know each other are coming together in Zoom rooms to figure out who they are, why they're here, and how to meditate. Meditation is something that we've often thought that if we make our minds empty, we've meditated. I don't believe that. I think it's important that we learn how to channel our thoughts in a right way that are connected to our vision, our goal, our spiritual attainments, our mental capacity. Then you're really meditating.
This healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing day. This healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful friends. My wonderful friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful friends. My wonderful friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. My radiant health. My radiant health. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life.